Defensive stance. Plus 10% dodge. It'd be like taking 10% less hits. Just gonna do that. Weapons cannot level toughness. Okay. I guess weapon skill then. Let's see. Adira. Medicae. Again, she's not really the best for any of this. I guess tech use, but we've got him. He's got disgustingly good tech use. Perception. Let's see. Exploit surroundings, cover efficiencies increase. She got one shot earlier. Is there anything that we can do to prevent that? $15. Yeah, this is kind of a tricky thing. Is it says plus to parry, but she doesn't have a melee weapon in hand, so she cannot parry. So this would be nothing. It will not die. Increase wounds by half of the character's level rounded up. So that'd be four hit points. I feel like I'm betraying the greater good. Look at my Tau tabletop army on the shelf. I don't think, so okay, I got into Warhammer stuff like a year ago, and I've played like 5 games since then of Warhammer. Enjoyed all of them. I don't think any of them had Tau in them. I know what they are from YouTube videos, and I know everybody makes fun of them because they don't like to melee, but they have like stupid range advantage or something. That's it, that's all I know. The character may improve any trained characteristic even if their archetype origin does not allow it. The devotee gains a willpower bonus % chance to ignore enemy attack. Is that 3? All allies excluding Xenos in the current party gain +5 to the same characteristic as was chosen for Humanity's Finest. I don't know what we chose for Humanity's Finest. Imperial Ward characters gain 10% critical hit chance, 10% armor against Xenos or Demonic. Their allies gain half the bonuses of No Heresy. However, their lore of Xenos and Warp are always 0. That's fine. That's not bad. Okay, what has she got? Commerce, persuasion. Her awareness is stupid, so we'll just continue that. Fellow, let's see, perception and willpower are really high. She's got 3 eyes. She should have good perception. Let's see. Tech guy. Logic. His weapon skill is really high. What else? Weapon skill, ballistic, and int. Okay, there we go. F5. And what do we got? There's another passage over here.
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all
okay,
will
I think
see.
I came through that hatch earlier and I didn't know where I was, so I went back. So this connects back to the lower levels. Join up at your hive's nearest Astra Militarum Mobile Conscription Center.
Curiosity sings in my
The cover was
veins.
haphazardly assembled from whatever the rebels could find. Alright, so that leads to command center.
One step at a time amidst the madness.
There. The goods in this stall are a stark contrast to the rest of the nearby shops. The jars are labeled, all-purpose synth powder, fills you up no matter what, made in Necromunda's best factories. With the word necro in the name, makes me think the powder is made out of dead people.
In this tapestry of a world,
Seems like not good for marketing.
I am the rogue thread.
Entering the command center. Hey, what's up? I see you looking around. Look at that chin race. He's like, yes, please, thank you. Alright. The formidable shells for large caliber weapons are being stored right in the command center. Oh, these are bullets. Oh my god, those are huge. A solitary young tech priest is offering ceaseless prayers to the machine spirits. Welcome to Rylan Minoris' command center.
There will be no peace in my wake.
What are all these enforcers and soldiers doing in this shelter? Why are they not on the streets fighting back against the enemies of humanity? Good question. F5 in case I have to kill them all. The heavy hum of the massive cogitator runs down the metal walls of the bunker, filling the entire command structure. I presume it is because the governor does not wish to be without his personal guard, even behind the meter-thick walls of his bunker. The tall, dark-skinned man turns toward you and greets you in a curt military manner. Faisal Raikabi Ab Medina of Coronis, governor of this star system, welcome to my temporary headquarters. The man's gaze falls on Abelard, his eyes slightly narrow. We're Syrian. Abelard nods dryly. Governor Medina, my greetings. The governor's expression changes drastically when he sees Cassia. Lady Navigator, what an honor. I never thought that House Urselia would grace our world with a visit. I only wish I could have received you under different circumstances. Cassia purses her lips, and an echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present. House Urselia is grateful for the support that you have provided to Uruk 5 these many years. Knocks the... Oh, that's right. Whenever she has a strong emotion, everyone around her feels it. So she just gave everyone a gut punch of grief. I'm not seeing the convoy I sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise you their punishment will be swift and severe. The convoy was ambushed and massacred. The only surviving soldier turned out to be a traitor and was personally executed by me. That is an outrage! I will have the personal vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Lordship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there is a question I feel compelled to ask. It was only recently that Lady Theodora was the head of House von Valancius. I have received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue traitor? My esteemed predecessor died at the hands of the cultists. May the Emperor incinerate their souls. The governor frowns, and a deep shadow falls over his face. Rogue traitor von Valancius, slain. Unthinkable. Please accept my deepest and most sincere condolences, your lordship. Do not hesitate to let me know how I might be of help. Commerce skill. I need fresh crew to replace those killed in the attack on the ship, and I need material compensation. Wait, I need to be paid for the people I'm taking. What? Commerce test succeeded. He bows his head in acceptance. Of course, your lordship. You will be compensated for any losses, and I'll see to it personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods for my personal reserves. Profit factor gained 2. I've never seen this. Abelard nods in approval and remarks quietly. Excellent, your lordship. A rogue trader has no use for leniency. I can offer you several thousand fine, obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform you that I won't be able to do it until after we've dealt with the insurgency on the planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming. I wish to commend the courage of one of your officers, Sergeant Malgar. He and his soldiers valiantly defend the starport. The sergeant who managed to impress a person of such noble standing will be recommended for decoration. My kinsman Kunrad Voitvia, I can't even say his name. Kunrad Voitvia von Valancius has betrayed our dynasty and the Imperium. If he is hiding in this system, I want him handed over to me. Voitvia is a traitor. Why, any family, however noble, has an unworthy scion or two. Naturally, we will surrender him should we find him within my jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I have no information regarding his location. However, he pauses to think, we have a cogitator here at the command center. It's connected to a data crypt from Logus Abel's sanctum. It's aggregated all the Lex Mechanic reports. Unfortunately, the access prayer for it is unknown to me. If you manage to convince the stubborn machine, you might learn something about Kunrad's movements. I'd hazard he fled from you on a ship, not on a pair of wings. Heinrichs van Kalox, an interrogator of the Most Holy Inquisition, is operating in your system. Do you know where he is? The governor lowers his voice. I do. Master Van Kalox has left for the hollowed electrodynamic Cenobrium in an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what his objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity, but I suppose that's too petty of a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I have already sent a small detachment of reinforcements there. The weapon the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Van Kalox, you should go to the Cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pascal's Vox. On behalf of the Priesthood of Mars, I, Magos Haneuman, am officially initiating my participation in the operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against laypeople and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Magos should provide his assistance. I categorically... Oh wait, this is somebody else. I categorically object. The governor clenches his fist. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah's servants. We have lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medina and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. This Magos is part of my retinue. You have no right to give him orders. You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no... The governor's voice dies down to a low growl of a drilling mechadendrite. Its tip is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. So, for anyone new to Warhammer, a mechadendrite is like a metal tentacle. And Pascal has like 2 of them on his shoulders, and apparently one of them just came out with a drill bit and just got right in his face, and it's like, I am going to kill you. Medina clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly. So this is the negotiation technique you have resorted to. Do you think this is the first time I've been threatened with a weapon? No, but this could be your last. Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement, steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and the squelching of tearing flesh. I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear? The governor mutters through gritted teeth. Abundantly so, Magos. It would be my pleasure to assist the Omnissiah's servant in reaching the sanctum. Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship. The drill stops. As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magos Haneuman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rycat system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Rycat system. You're Haneuman. Glad you're alive. The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary. Pascal, what is so special about the Cenobium and the relic? What is in there that has drawn the attention of an interrogator of the Inquisition? I have never been there before, but I would presume that the sacred relic of the reactor is capable of great destruction should it end up in heretics' hands. The fury of the freed machine spirits, once released from the sacred circuit, will destroy everything around them. The degree of damage inflicted may render the world of Rhinecat Minoris uninhabitable. Heresy must be purged from those blessed halls. I declare any desecrator who defiles the relic's power a Category 3 blasphemer. Category 3? I don't know what that means. Deserving of immediate execution. They're like hurricanes. Governor, what has perplexed you about my companion's name? The governor looks at Pascal with curiosity. According to the reports we've received, Logus Abel Hanuman set off for the hollowed electrodynamic Cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out that you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master Van Kalox. Pascal's Vox rasps in confusion. My name is Pascal Hanuman, not Abel. I know nothing about such a person. What do you know about this Abel, Governor? No, Governor! I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logus supervised the work of Rhinecat Minoris' Lex mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel. That sounds so cool. Man cave? No. Welcome to my cyber chapel. And I never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchorite. Where can I get more information on this individual? I would have suggested that you inspect the esteemed Logus' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some information. It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a Vox can sound so confused. That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagos Amarnat, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. Adira tenses up and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pascal. I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror too long, you might see yourself in it, in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair, then. The new reflection is death-like. What? Why did he fly into the monastery? That seems suspicious. When a Logus of the Adeptus Mechanicus wants to go somewhere, we don't ask why, your lordship. I see. Glad to be of service, your lordship. Are you so confident you will crush the insurrection soon? My own impression has been the exact opposite. Is that so? The governor maintains his composure. I'd like to hear your reasoning. The insurgents managed to steal a Voxcaster. They have been listening to your people's communications. It's not much, but it is something. I will order an audit of our equipment to see to it that our communication channels are more closely monitored going forward. However, it was only the accidental success of an otherwise disorganized mob of heretics who have no understanding of the art of war. There are scores of crazed people with scorched eyes stalking the city. The insurgents are maiming their own. Good. The insurgents are using the arch enemy's artifacts, enchanted lenses, to perform unholy sorcery. I've heard about these lenses. What makes you think they're enchanted? Any fool can light a fire with a magnifying glass. That's not sorcery. The insurgents talk of a final dawn, the impending demise of the world. Yet another superstition. Surely you don't expect me to believe it. The insurgency is headed by a certain Aurora, a prophet who, according to their followers, possess mystical powers. The rabble's usual superstition. I am sure this Aurora is a charlatan muttering some doggerel while the dim followers think to be magic spells. This does, of course, warrant their eventual burning of the furnace of penance, but it does not point to there being anything special about this insurgency. You want to leave your bunker more often, Governor Medine. I have only recently arrived in this system, and I already know much more about the uprising than you do. He hesitates before answering, his face slowly turning purple with anger. Your lordship? He grits out through his teeth. I know who you are. I have heard of your exploits, and I will not allow a stranger, let alone another rogue traitor, to speak to me in such a manner and make demands of a subject of his lordship Caligos Winterscale. He takes a breath and continues in a calmer tone. This matter is closed. Let us speak no more of it. Is there anything else I can do on this planet or in this system while I wait for the end of the revolt? If you'd like a distraction, a smaller and safer uprising to suppress at your leisure, there is a planetoid in my system called Rakati Philia. It hosts a prison colony whose inmates rebelled at the same time as the heretics on the planet. It's an all-around preposterous situation. It should have only taken us a couple of orbital shots to take care of them, but... He purses his lips. Evane Winterscale went there. He is a relative of my suzerain, the great rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, the master of the system and a dozen others. I imagine the young Lord Winterscale is very eager to prove himself to the distinguished kinsman. I see no reason for you not to join him. It's a small planetoid, the prisoners' numbers are few, and they have little in the way of weapons. It's more of a sport for noble lords than a real rebellion. Evane. Abelard mutters, stroking his beard. One of his distant younger offspring. Yes, that's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Evane Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urak 5 on behalf of his father. The Great Regent would never have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means no matter what happened on the planetoid, we must aid the Highborn. That is all. Combat arsenal transferred to the command center in full, no damage sustained. The heavy helm of this massive cogitator runs down the metal walls of the bunker, filling the entire command center. What's that? Those heavy chains are used to adjust the height of the command platform.
What lies beyond?
The cogitator looks a lot older and more worn out than the ones next to it. However, it has evidently been well cared for. Numerous parts have been replaced, not a single key is jammed, and fresh seals with prayers to the Omnissiah adorn its surface. One of the side panels has been removed. Bundles of gold-notched cables run from inside to a small data crypt that was connected only a short while ago. The screen reads, awaiting access code. Tech use. Force access to the cogitator. Succeeded. You've bypassed the security layers. The cogitator is ready to reveal its secrets. Pascal leans forward and runs his fingers over the keys. The cogitator's screen blinks and responds with strings of unknown characters. I appeal to the machine spirit to open Logos Abel's personal archives as well. It has accepted my request. Go to Logos's private section. Result of Logos Abel's data trace. One sec. So what's up, FaceTime? How you doing? I cannot see the secret design, but I can sense it, shackled in stasis. The minds of the initiated are slumbering in the neural harness of their vows. I am registering an impulse of change. I surmise a potential influence on the stasis of the secret design. There came a time when the spiral was turned into a circle, but the cycle can be discontinued. The revelation granted by the Omnissiah to Logos Abel is the course of his data mediation has been recorded verbatim. Logos Abel is seeking an audience with the venerable Dar Impulse 6, who may assist in interpretation of the revelation. A request has been sent to the governor's palace for a shuttle flight to the electrodynamic cenobium. A message has been sent to the Furibunda system. The furry system! The cycle can be discontinued. I recognize the words. The voice from the Vox is soft and pensive, barely audible over the static noise. I believe I know the intended recipient of the message of the Furibunda system. It was me. Omnissiah grants me the wisdom to fathom this mystery. One sec. Okay. Go to Sacred Computation 7825M. Upon Logos Abel's orders, the archives of every augur station on Rykad Minoris and the two primary satellites of Rykad Star have been queried. Said satellites are named Magos Maruf and Zafira the Keen, after two great champions of faith whose external cogitators were placed inside the satellite's cores after their shells perished. The purpose of the sacred computation requested by the Logos is to uncover the external influence beyond the ongoing insurgency. Computation result, positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the Sacred Augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Rykad Minoris cycles ago, early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logos Abel's conclusion. The insurrection on the planet has been long in the making. With the participation of external actors, it is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Rykad system, the rumored unholy prophet of the insurgents, but the subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries. But what is the nature of their activity near Rykati Philia? Governor Medna's attention must be drawn to... The final entry cuts off. Recent observations. The satellite Magos Maruf reports that the ship's signal have been broadcasted through the system. Its signature is consistent with the records of the flagship of a rogue trader dynasty, House von Valentius. The satellite Zafira the Keen reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship has sent an encrypted Vox transmission to the insurgent-controlled areas of the surface of Rykad Minoris. Another transmission was directed to planetoid Rakati Philia. Both transmissions signed Brother Twilight. Their contents could not be decrypted. Go to be investigated. The entry contains planet-side coordinates marked as Heavy Auger Station Jamming, possibly a hidden insurgent base. Okay, quick save. Got a lot of quest updates there.
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
Oh, I like that. We can go back to the void ship. Let's do it. I was actually wondering if I was gonna have to like walk all the way back to the ship, which was through 3 or 4 zones. So that's cool. Oh, I was so focused on the star map, I didn't even see this down here. Vox Master Vigdis. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I've received several messages from different decks, complaining about anomalous behaviors in the ship's cogitators and servitors. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech litany or ritual of pure pacification can rid them of the obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the vessel systems, but the servitors, they make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. A click comes through the Vox channel, followed by a weary sigh. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations, or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Adira joins the channel and chimes in playfully. Don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folks have grown used to all that, so our resident ghost here has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. The technomats inspected the servitors and concluded they posed no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated or by manifestations of the machine spirit's will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitors make the crew's task considerably more difficult, and High Factotum Generous Danrock would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective properly. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge. Okay, back to bridge. The new Christmas Fusion is out on RSL. I don't even know what it is. Hold on a second. Fusion. Oh, I guess I have to restart my game. I don't see it. I'll check it out later. Let's see. Who's the guy I'm supposed to talk to on the bridge? High Factotum. This guy, I think. The corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you, not without difficulty. A servo skull whirs over his shoulder, while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he's holding. He regards you with attentive interest, though through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, Lordship. Janus Danrock at your service. Vigdis informed me about a problem with the servitors. What happened? You see, your lordship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose. Janus Downrock nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of these servitors myself. But I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, that can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments pending your decision. Pascal and Hanuman expressed the desire to be present during the inspection should it be carried out. I suppose the expertise of the esteemed Magos may come in handy. I wish to take a look at these servitors before deciding their fate. As you wish, your lordship. Would you like the Engine Seer Prime to accompany you? Yes, Pascal shall come with me. As your lordship commands. Oh, when they said servitors, I was thinking like just the flying drones. It's talking about the humanoids. Okay. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, all standing in a long spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. The moment his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion, all as one, as if obeying a command. The servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. The technomats, tasked with overseeing the defective units, even reached for their weapons, but then the servitors just went still just as abruptly, staring at his lordship with vacant eyes. All present held their breath, disturbed by this sight. We awaited for the Lord Captain to speak. His lordship Muck von Luck von Valancias gestured for his Engine Seer Prime to study the servitors. Will you have to do tech support? What is that curse following you by? I know, right? The Ancient Seer Prime slowly waded into the motionless ranks of the servitors, peering into their faces and checking their readings. There was no haste in Pascal's actions. With mesmerizing diligence, he inspected every single unit on his path, and his binaric prayers were his companions in his investigation. The examination confirmed the Technomat's initial hypothesis. The servitor's soul